Let's see, do I have any Van Halen records? I don't think I do. Damn. Hey everyone, what's up? Alan here, coming at you today with Running with the Devil, the Van Halen bio by the road manager. His name is Noel Monk, and he was the road manager for Van Halen. Road manager first, and then personal manager, like from the start, that's 78 up until 1985. And uh, those who like Van Halen, like I do, although I used to have some Van Halen albums, like the first one, of course. I had all of them. I'm not going to digress into like my missing albums, but I was a fan of Van Halen back in the 80s. I remember a good friend of mine who passed away, high school friend Tom Hogan, turned me on to Van Halen. I've never seen Van Halen in concert. I've seen a few bands, not a whole lot, but I've seen a few, and but I never saw Van Halen, unfortunately. Not with David Lee Roth, nor with Sammy Hagar, Van Hagar. And it's kind of funny, last Monday on the live show, Monday Night Live with me and Greg, another Bibliophile Reads, Floss, our friend Floss at the Great Jelly Library, we were talking about Van Halen. And she said, David Lee Roth era or Sammy Hagar? And I have to go with the David Lee Roth era for the music, because he was an egomaniac, just a flat out dick. I mean, this is back in the 80s with all the cocaine and alcohol, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, sex and groupies. I just recently did a Paul Stanley Kiss biography. I've been doing these on audio books, and I should do they're all in my book review playlist. You have to look for them. But I did Rob Halford from Judas Priest, his biography, and then even Cicely Tyson. I read hers, I think, 2 years ago. Read that primarily for the Miles Davis information. But this Van Halen biography is really interesting. If you like rock biographies of Van Halen, you'll love it. It's really informative, really behind the scenes. Noel said that he saw Hendrix back in the day, and many bands, and I forget other bands that he managed, but he managed a few, primarily Van Halen. But he saw a lot of stuff, and he said Van Halen partied like the hardest of any band, harder than Black Sabbath. This is the time that Motley Crue was hitting the scene too. So, but okay, I want to mention before I forget. You heard the stories about like the brown M&Ms, Van Halen and their writer. They had, we have to have chicken wings. We have to have so much beer and so much wine, and we have to have M&Ms, but all the brown picked out of them. Well, that was this guy, the manager's idea. The idea behind it was if they would pay attention to a minute detail like that, they pay attention to other details. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, the story about David Lee Roth being tied up in a straitjacket. Yeah, that happened. The band didn't do it. Like Eddie and Alex and Michael didn't do it, but the roadies, some of the roadies did. And you'd think they would be immediately fired because David was outraged, of course. He'd get outraged about everything. Just real class ass, really. Guess he's changed his ways a bit, but they kept their jobs until the end of the tour because they needed them. But coffee break. Alex and Eddie ended up being real alcoholics. Their father was a real alcoholic, and by that I mean a person who drinks like in the morning or just 24/7, needs a drink, gets the shakes in the morning, or where their personality totally changes sometimes when they drink. Uh, well, Alex and Eddie were like that. I don't know if I know Eddie finally sobered up and after he got divorced from Valerie Bertinelli, but yeah, there's some embarrassing stories where Eddie really embarrassed the hell out of her, but he changed his ways. I'm not sure about Alex. In fact, Alex had some arthritis issues where he can't drum anymore, and I just heard on YouTube. I listen to a lot of guitar videos and stuff. Uh, so through the grapevine, that Alex is selling all his drum stuff. Not only that, all his gold and platinum albums. He's like never gonna drum again. I don't know why. I just heard that like a few days ago. So it stops when he got fired. Michael Anthony, the bass player, turns out to be the most sweetest guy and the most down to earth guy in the band. They really screwed him. They took his royalties away because he wasn't primarily a writer. In fact, Eddie Van Halen would embarrass him and let it be known that he wrote all the bass parts and all the lead bass parts and everything. In fact, uh, Eddie and Valerie's son, Wolfgang Van Halen, yeah, he's got his own band now, Mammoth. And Van Halen's first name for the group was Mammoth. So it's great to see Wolfgang, he's mentioned in here. Wolfgang Van Halen uh, being a successful musician now in his own right. He writes and plays all the parts, drums, bass, guitar, uh, sings, everything. Check him out, Mammoth. So I really enjoyed this book. If, like I said, if you like Van Halen or rock biographies in general, you'll definitely like it. And it's a palate cleanser for me. Now, back to Ulysses in Dublin. So take care. What I'm saying is, I don't read necessarily all big, hard, classic books. I like to read some rocking books too. So hey, like, subscribe, make a comment. I'll reply back to you.